Hello, beautiful friend. It's me, Dr. Missy Hillock, and I'm here with an amazing energy reading and forecast for the week of February 22nd to the 28th for 2026. This is the last full week of February, and so many amazing things have happened. If you hadn't noticed, I mentioned last time that last week was a big one, and it most certainly was. If you felt the shift between the old energy of the wood snake year and then on Tuesday of last week, coming into the full fire horse energy of the new Chinese zodiac year. In addition to that, it was a new moon. It was a new moon eclipse specifically. Then we had some other planetary alignments and arrangements that were really unusual happen last week. So it was a major opportunity for changing and shifting and leaving the old behind and stepping into the new, right? So this week is no different. We're fully in the fire horse energy, which is very inspiring. It's very creative. It's very new energy driven. And so we're also, though, now in the Pisces season. So we shifted zodiac signs last week, toward the end of the week. So if you know about Pisces, that's the sign of it's water, right? And water is emotion, but it's also depth, it's movement. Think about the power of water. Water can wipe homes off their foundation, right? It's this really crazy energy force, just like fire. So we're in this fire season, but right away, boom, we're thrown into a water season, which is also the last zodiac sign before we start again, which will be Aries, starting next month, late March. So I pulled cards specifically to support that energy, really tapping into the power of water for some of our understanding of how to approach our week and what energies are important, what is there coming, what's still left behind. And wow, did I get a powerful spread. Let's go ahead and dig in. So the first deck I chose was the Shaman's Dream. This is one of my first decks that I really studied when I started to get into doing readings. So I know this deck very well. I trust it. And just look at the image on the deck. The moons and the planets and this like goddess energy is like holding it all and shifting it all. And that's why I went to this, because it is, again, so many things are shifting, planetarily with all these particular arrangements and alignments. Then I wanted to see what this deck had to say. And not one, but two cards came out, okay? Card number 12 and card number 13. So this is Dragon's Hoard, Protecting the Future, and Dream Thief, Refusal of the Call. Wow. Okay, so let's dig into what this means. So let's start with the first one, Dragon's Hoard, Protecting the Future. So first of all, I wanted to pull from a dragon deck, and I decided against it. And so, of course, a dragon card came out in my very first card that I pulled because I could feel this dragon energy coming in. So Dragon's Hoard, Protecting the Future. If you can see, this dragon is like wrapped around this beautiful jewel. And if you could see really closely on the card, it almost looks like the planet, looks like Earth. And down below, there are several jewels that it's holding on to, right? So this is an invitation on a few levels. First of all, this is like a massive green light for moving toward what you want, for actually gathering riches, not just financial riches, although those are absolutely up for grabs, but things you want to bring in form of abundance, things that you want to attain and hold, that you want to build for yourself, not just in the days to come, but in the years to come, a legacy that you're building, both in terms of physical, tangible resources and intangible. What are you building that you are then sharing and leaving behind? And that's really the second part of this card, which is the protecting the future part. So this is really bringing to our awareness to be very mindful of what we're creating, what we're seeking, what we're building, and how we are sharing those resources to honor and protect the future generations, the future viability of the planet. Is it what we seeking just for our own sole purpose, for our own gratification, for our own pleasures and enjoyment? There's nothing wrong with that. But is there more? Is this something that we're building and creating and obtaining that we can share with others that we can share, again, tangibly or intangibly, whether it's our own finances and physical resources, or whether it's our ideas, our perception, our ways that we heal, our ways that we serve. And this is an invitation to think about and really lean into the idea of what we're building and creating and how we can impact others with it. It reminds me of one of my own points of transformation in my life where I would always talk about it when people would ask, like, well, what are you working toward in life? And I would say, well, my husband and I don't have children. So we're like going to spend every bit of money we have. We're going to blow it all before we die. It seems so weird to think that now, because even though I do enjoy spending my own money, I don't think about the legacy that I'm creating like that anymore. I don't think about it tangibly like that, because I've come to an awareness that we will have so many resources that we will be able to gift and bless and provide, not just for our own, younger relatives who will still be living, presumably when we pass, but also to be able to bless communities, to be able to bless causes, to be able to share our wealth and not just keep it all hoarded for ourselves, but to share it to change the world, to provide healing and light and love to others. And so this is really what this card is about. Looking at not just what you're building, but what are you going to do with it? And how is that impacting not just you, but the future, the legacy that you're leaving behind? And I really love that, having gone through that personal journey myself and getting so excited to think about the ways that we'll be able to bless all the people that we'll be able to bless one day, not just when we die. We're doing it in our life as well, but that gives me so much more joy than any resources I could hoard for myself. And I think we can all identify that as people who love to give, how great that feels when someone receives what it is we have to give. Now, the second card that came up, because like I said, two came out of this deck. This is card number 13, the card right behind it. Dream Thief, refusal of the call. I want to read, I don't normally read out of the guidebooks, but I want to read the meaning of what the dream thief is. Okay, this image right here, and notice that this thing is holding on to what's in this image, right? This almost crystal ball looking type of gem, right? So it says, the dream thief is a soft and compelling seductress. Her only purpose is to keep you hypnotized by comfort and sameness. She wants you to tell your old stories over and over again so you don't evolve beyond them. Isn't that frightening, right? So the dream thief is coming up here in reflection of this, right? It is about moving beyond the old stories, moving beyond the sameness, the smallness, the old version of ourself that doesn't have what we desire, as we move into what we desire, and doing that with some reverence, doing that with some understanding of how our choices impact everybody else, and also being aware not to allow the dream thief to come in and spoil our path ahead, to steal our riches, to steal our joy, to take us off course. So this is a bit of not a warning, but it's a bit of something to bring to mind as we move into these really great things. Because the thing about this year, we're going to have so many new opportunities put in front of us. I'm already sensing this just in literally the days that we've been into the fire horse energy. And we want to have our, not our rose-colored glasses on. We want to be really conscious about what we want to have, why we want to have it, and what choices to say yes to and what choices to say no to. The second deck I pulled from was a water deck. It is the Healing Waters Oracle by Rebecca Campbell. Beautiful imagery, really activating messages in this deck, and pretty much gave me the ultimate water card, cleansing, release the old, energetic tune-up, new beginnings. Well, as I would have said as a kid, no duh, right? I've already said this is the energy that we're in, leaving the old behind, moving into the new, energetic tune-ups. And then again, remember, this is a reminder. Don't let the dream thief come in and stall these new beginnings. Don't let it stall the release of the old. Receive this upgrade. And really the imagery, look, it's a woman just being bathed, being showered in water. And so quite literally, I see this as a call to cleanse your physical body. I know the day before the new moon last week, I felt very called to have a physical cleanse. So I took a little concoction that helped me move things through my system. I also remember on the day of the new moon last week, I remember walking into my shower. It was the first shower I was taking after the shift of energy. And I mindfully was with that. I'm like, I allowed in that shower this energetic wash away. I really was present to the cleansing power of the water, of washing the old off and bringing in the new. And then one of my dearest friends called me right as I was stepping out of the shower. And so she's like, well, how was the shower? I said, and I told her, I said, well, it was my first shower of the new moon and the fire horse energy. And it was great, right? So allow this to be a call to water. If you receive my weekly emails, you may have seen last Wednesday, I sent out an email about a bathtub therapy ritual that I really love. So being in water, being in your shower or your tub, in an ocean, of course, river, a stream, a pool, anything like that. I personally love water. I've always been very drawn to it. I love looking at it. I love being in it. All the things. And there's a reason for that. You know, being in water and near water, it is those negative ions. That's something our energy field needs in order to reset and repair and make us feel grounded. So this is a call to get grounded via water and allow that energy to move. Allow water to be a conductor of movement of energy for us. And then on the water theme, I pulled from Messages of the Mermaids by Karen Kay, and 2 cards came out here as well. And they're very related, okay? So contemplation and decisions, okay? So notice, how do you want to make a decision? Do you want to make a decision without thinking about it at all? Just a rash decision, just however you feel at the moment? Or is it better suited to contemplate, okay? And that's what this is really saying this year, there are going to be a ton of decisions to be made, okay? Because we're at a crossroads. We're at a time with lots of change. So with change comes decisions. There's going to be a lot of them. That's okay. You're equipped to handle them. But here's the deal. Do so thoughtfully. Take some time in contemplation. That doesn't mean letting your ego mind run around like a squirrel and have every possible thought and reaction and doom and gloom you could possibly have. It means almost like a meditative process of thought. It's allowing outcomes, potential realities, timelines to come into your conscious awareness a few at a time and just feel into them, sense into them. See how real they feel to you. See how resonant, aligned they feel to you. What emotions do they bring up? What reactions do they bring up? Okay, this is true contemplation and how it can help you move through something energetically. I love the practice as a psychologist. One of the things that I think is a great practice for our nervous system is to play with extremes, to play with a worst case scenario and a best case scenario. A lot of times our nervous system has a problem holding either one of those realities. The worst case obviously scares us, but a lot of times the best case scenario can scare us because it's like, then it brings up things of like, are we worthy of that? Can we handle that? Maybe if it's, I win the lottery, that's a great outcome, but then I have responsibility that I have to manage this money, and responsibility makes my nervous system freak out, right? So how your nervous system reacts is running the show. I can guarantee you that. So when it comes to making decisions, instead of just going off of what the nervous system can handle at the moment, which can be very moment to moment, and it can be very scattered and not aligned sometimes, this is inviting you to spend some time, play with those scenarios, bring up a worst case, bring up a best case for a particular decision that you're making, bring up a middle ground, what seems the most realistic. Feel into those. A lot of times what you'll find when you feel into them, when you feel into the worst, you actually may see the worst case scenario in that situation isn't that bad. You'll get through it. It's not something that's going to change the course of your entire life necessarily. Okay. So when we come to that, we can gather some strength and some courage and some energy to make a hard choice. And also when we bring up the best case, we can see where our blind spots are with some of the little tweaks that we need to make with our mental, our inner talk, our self-talk, or the thoughts that we have, or the way we shut down opportunities and abundance, because out of fear and out of these little nervous system tweaks that we would not have necessarily recognized had we not played with holding that potentiality and kind of tried it on, right? It's like try it before you buy it type of thing. So this is super empowering for us to remember to contemplate before we make decisions. And that is a great message to move us through all year long, not just right now during this month or this week or Pisces season, but moving forward. Because again, there's a lot to be made. There's so much coming this year, and it's really, really exciting. I hope that this message serves you. If you want to hear more, you can certainly subscribe to my YouTube channel where I share these messages each Sunday for the week ahead, or you can sign up for my mailing list where you'll also get an email on Sundays to remind you of the reading along with additional information to support it, as well as a lot of other content and resources and insights that I provide each week. I hope you have a fabulous one. See you later, friends.